Hey everyone, welcome back to the Rekles Racing Series. 2026 Ultra 4 Spring Series. We are currently round 4. Coming in. All good racing so far. And still on top. Laser focus. Cool under pressure. Chournos. 109 series points. It's going to give him a pretty good stretch. 11 points down to Jaeger, who has been running very consistent. He has earned 5 qual points so far. Definitely using those to stay in the hunt, but still having a hard time catching Chournos because he has won every race, and it's really hard to beat someone who wins every race. But if anyone can do it, it would be Jaeger, Driver, Waffles, SlinkySam, Jaxon, Kunkel, APC, Twisted, Nutellafella, Alex, Michael Farley, Young. I mean, any one of these guys could break up in there right now. And as you can see, the names in orange, those are the pros. That'd be the top 8 from last year. Currently 11th, Michael Farley. That's the reigning champion from last year's series, and he chose to run a kind of a high center gravity solid axle car for this race, and I respect that choice very much. But as you can see, even at his skill level, he's struggling to hang in the top 10 there. That just tells you how good and how fast all these guys are. Driver and Michael Farley away. Michael Farley, reigning champion in that solid axle car. This must be a speed zone at the start of the race. It's hard to say how Waffles got the whole shot in such a scenario, but the Truggy seems to be pulling away from the solid axle car. So, yep, start a race right into a speed zone. Love it. Second row, Jaxon and Jaeger. Here they go. Speed zone drag race. It reminds me of at summer fairs and things sometimes when they have the Harley slow drag, except it didn't work for Jaxon. He seems to be gone. Very strange. I wonder if it has something to do with cooking the brakes. What is going on here? Third row, last but not least at all here in Server 1, DriverTech and Twisted Motorsports. Same thing. It seems like some cars have a speed limiter, but others do not. Not a clue what we're seeing there. Let's go check on Michael Farley, who is parked off the side of the road right now. Car frozen. I think we may be experiencing a red flag situation here, so bear with us. And we're back. A little bit of a technical difficulty. All sorted out. We're going to restart. Single file. 15 seconds apart. Here we go. 6 rows. Starting off with reigning champ, Michael Farley. Here they go. So there is a speed limiter on the left side. It has to do with maybe a pit lane entry, but either way, we know avoid the left side. Hard on the brakes. That solid axle car getting it choked down a little bit, not quite knowing what's coming up next. This is a no pre-run race. These guys have not seen this course at all. So they have been able to go and explore this map. They could go run all the trails, fly around, look at whatever you want, but the race course was just released right before the race, so we are seeing it here first. DriverTech is not second off the line, but Jaxon Kunkel is running the truggy. So far we have the BDR Bronco out front and RCC truggy. An oldie but a goodie, still hanging here in the top tier. Scott Farley pulled over again. Hopefully we're not experiencing another issue. Jaeger, his car seems to be still having speed zone issues here. Yeah, not sure. Racing a new map. Lots of new things going on around here. Sometimes we have some issues, and he is going RTB to probably restart his time, but we are not red flagging at the moment. A lot of trees on this map. It's going to be difficult to use these camera angles. So far, back on the line. Leader, Michael Farley, is back here. Are they going to try and reset to get a new time started because they got caught in that speed limiter? I see Jaeger is drifting towards the middle, but seems like he is maintaining his exit speed. That is going to cause them to lose their advantage in the position of on the starting grid, but that will give them a chance to get a clean run out of there without being limited. Michael Farley struggling with something. Not sure what's going on, but let's go back and check on the rest of the pack. We're going to see a lot of cautious driving tonight because, I mean, realistically, even though pretty much all these guys are using the third person view, they can see what's over the crest, but at speed it's really hard to judge. So some of the guys who came and practiced this map earlier will come upon trails that they have already ran, and they'll be able to have a little recollection as to, oh, that's ascend it, that's not ascend it. Nice little square edge here that's hanging up the back of that car, but he gives a good bounce and wiggle, gets right through it. Ooh, trouble for the truggy. Got a tire pinched in that rock and sort of yanked it over on its side. Sometimes in here, the way the gravity is, you can get some RC crawler characteristics with tire pinches and things like that. Twisted Motorsports is away on trail, going up through that little undercut rock spot we were looking at earlier. It is a lot more difficult than it looks. Getting that UFO to get a good bounce over the right and past the obstacle. We'll go check in with Mr. Waffles. He was front row, did not get caught in the speed trap, although it did seem like he was going pretty slow. But maybe that was just the first time. The second time he got out of there clean, and he is definitely going at a pace where he wants to stretch out a little room early on. That way he can settle into his race and not feel like there's pressure right behind him. Take advantage of these smooth roads, but as you can see, if you get a little bit off track, there are bar ditches and full-on rivers apparently. This looks like a pretty fun little trail. This reminds me a lot of the Northwest right here. Ooh. Good job keeping it off the trees. You do not want to tangle with these. I know in real life you can just throw a Nerf bar or a roll cage right up against a tree, scoot by it, no problem. That is not the case here. The way this game works with beams and nodes and being able to optimize these trees to a point where we can have a whole bunch of them without killing everyone's frame rate. Oh, and we have a little bit of traffic here. This was your top qualifier. Scott Farley has caught back up Twisted Motorsports. Sorry, Scott. I said Scott Farley. That's it. It says Scott Farley on the side, but that is Scott's brother, Michael Farley. I'm sure that Bronco of his will make short work of the obstacle. I need to adjust some camera settings here, as I can see. Let's go up high and see where everybody's at. So we don't know names, but we have numbers. And it looks like two of them are really close together up there in the front. I see smooth movement was turned on, but I was not getting it. Beam life. All right. Oops. Let's get back down there. Start with the leaders. Through the pit of misery. Waffles and Jaxon. Two truggies out front. Waffles is learning why we do not touch these trees. Manages to get free. If you can get caught up with the tree and get free without popping a tire, pretty good for you. Waffles' car a little squirrely coming across this bridge. I'm going to say his car is not 100% at this point, but that's how these guys all run. I think when they practice, they just break their car right away. And all right, look at this. Some navigational challenges here. Reading signs at speed. Waffles definitely nurturing some damage from that collision with the tree, but he is still very far out front. Do not know about pits, and I do not think this section is going to favor having damage. And as we speak, your physical race leader, Jaxon Kunkel, is going to hydrolock his engine. Waffles coming in. See if he revises his line a little bit, stays on that high ground, but that is just enough time for Jaxon Kunkel to do a trail repair, serve his 10-second penalty, and get moving. And Waffles gets by. I wonder if Waffles already did take that. Oh no, Jaxon and holy driver is going to use Jaxon Kunkel as a stepping stone to get through the water. That is very rude and very impressive at the same time. That's I mean, it's about as Canadian as you can get right there. That was a hell of a move by driver who sees physical lead and wants to go check it out. So driver is on a tear right now, coming off of a pretty, hits that piece of trash right there. Looks like a culvert or something metal. Definitely would have taken out a sidewall on those old school Goodyear MTRs, which whole nother rabbit hole conversation there. But driver coming off a solid win at Grand Junction is saying, hey guys, I'm not just fast there, I'm gonna be pretty much fast everywhere with this car. And keeping the pressure on Waffles as they both hit a big booby trap G out. No harm, no done. But driver is not going to be giving Waffles any room. As you can see, full lockup, all 4 tires coming together right at a 90-degree apex. These guys are going full send. And, oh boy, driver, you are, he says, I'm coming through like Max Verstappen, like Lewis Hamilton, move or get hit. Like, he is not going to stop at the gas station. That is a good sign. But as you can see, how do you read these trails? I mean, I saw lap 1 marker there. I see another one here. This is a full-time job. Just trying to stay on course. Jaeger, one of the fast guys, he's been probably the most consistent as far as getting good qual points, finishing well. But appears he is nursing some damage as usual. Some of these guys, when they get damaged, their strategy is slow down, don't break the car anymore, and when you get to the pit, you know, do a coin toss, decide if you're going to fix it or not. But you know that if you push that repair button one time, that probably is going to take the win. Jaxon Kunkel has a minimum of 1 trail repair right now, which is 8 minutes plus 10 seconds that he was frozen. And that hydrolocking can be a tough one sometimes, because when you fix your car, you start out back in the water again, and you can, if you're not careful, hydrolock your new engine, which then can sometimes result in a second repair. So hopefully he only has 1. He'd be 8 minutes 10 seconds down, but I have a feeling there's going to be some other people pushing that button tonight. I doubt anyone is going to come out here and do a clean run on a sight unseen track. Twisted Motorsports is getting a lesson on the trees right now. Those things are vicious. You can use the node grab function where you hit control and it lights up a node on your car, and you could attempt to grab it and pull yourself away from the tree. Twisted looks like he did take a trail repair. He's going to be frozen there for 10 seconds plus 8 minutes added to his overall corrected time. That's very unfortunate for someone who is a strategic, clean driver. Definitely not one of those people that's going to send it for hero mode like these kamikazes. Twisted knows, like, he's here to race realistically. He wants to keep the same car alive the whole race. These guys here are like, you know, cold trickle. Like, they don't own the car, they don't listen to the crew chief, like, you know, they're just gonna kind of do what they want. Michael Farley running the solid axle car, only 1 in server 1 at the moment. Last week we saw Blue up here, he had the Bronco, and still, yeah, keeping at least 1 solid axle car in the top server. Michael's definitely going to be taking it smooth and trying not to get any trail repairs, because he knows that he does have a bit of a speed advantage or disadvantage in some places compared to those really, you know, more agile IFS cars that can completely lawn dart into something and not die. Takes kind of a highline around there. I would say that's probably an illegal line, but in reality, definitely the right choice. And who do we have here? Driver is at the gas station. He is going to put up a donut shop as he comes back on course. That gas station must have been a pit. What's going on? That gas station must have been a pit repair, and driver had to go to it. And now he's working his way back to the racetrack from which he left earlier, as he gets a little too excited, throws it in the ditch. Does a little Tony Hawk Pro skate car, pop shove it. Looked like he was going for the varial flip, and now he is back on course where he left to get that repair. Good navigation skills by driver. Meanwhile, Jaeger's still taking it pretty easy. Car's been through a lot, but seems to be functioning properly. This is what we're talking about before, where, you know, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. You know, some people are just fast and smooth, but I mean, how many times in a row can you get away with that? As we'll find out later tonight, because Chournos was not able to join the race this evening. Whoa, Jaxon. Jaxon Kunkel, something straight out of a Kin Block demo, is going to pitch it in there, get it shut down just in time to make that quick little right-hand exit off the highway onto a nice little trail. I really enjoy the trails like that have a little berm on the side so you can rail the corners. Creek crossing, definitely watch out when you see smaller rocks like this in the road. They are the most dangerous ones as far as taking out tires and things like that. The more distance between the rock, the more likely a part of your car will drop into it and get caught. But nice and smooth through there, no catches. That does not happen on its own. There's definitely a lot of skill going on. Watch the throttle input and brake balance. That's how you get a car through obstacles without destroying it, without going too slow, without going too fast. Oh, speaking of going too slow or too fast, Jaeger, who has been going a pretty moderate pace, has caught up to Jaxon, who was going extremely fast earlier. Big diff hanger on that Johnson Valley rock. Some rocks can be just bashed through and others will not let you go. Jaeger gets a nice clean pass on the right side, completes the obstacle, and is going to move on. Let's see. I'm curious as to where Twisted is physically, because I know he started quite a bit towards the back on these guys. They were away before he even took the green light. It looks like our physical lead is going to be Senor Waffles. The old mellow yellow city Chevrolet Truggy. A little bit of damage to that Truggy, but it, you know, it's to be expected. I really hate to see a car driving with no front tires, so we're going to tab over there. Oh no, what just happened? Well, I don't think we're going to have to fix this car because he's going to fix it for us here in a second. If he does this by the book, he will winch himself out backwards. Oh god, where'd we go? He will winch himself out backwards, reset his car, that way it does not respawn in the mud puddle and ruin his new engine. Oh, he had presence of mind enough to shut the engine off in the water hole and then recover the vehicle backwards and refire the engine before it was destroyed. Nice little pro trick right there by Waffles. Takes a lot of coordination to do that. You'd be surprised. And here comes the rest of the pack. There's got to be a pit lane right here, and I would assume he's going to pull into it, but it does not appear so. So that means he definitely has more than 2 tires intact on this car. We're going to repair him as he goes out onto lap 2. Here comes the rest of the pack. Not quite yet. I guess they're a little farther back than I thought. That is actually a very commanding lead right now by Waffles. Oh, here's someone coming through town. Who is the next racer? That is Jaeger. Jaeger's going to be number 2 into town, physical lead, driving past the pit. Out of the speed zone and on to lap 2 to go see if he can reel in Waffles out there. We know Waffles has a trail repair from that hydrolocking engine, no doubt. So if Jaeger can keep him, you know, even that distance apart and run clean, he definitely has a shot at it. DriverTech coming in, missing a whole corner. His speed and driving characteristics are representing that as well. So I have a feeling we will see him pull into the pits here. If not, we will reset that car. Okay. Driver, we saw him on that hard charge earlier, was definitely wanting to feel that rush of holding the physical lead on a race right now. Put on a good show. We didn't see exactly what happened. Definitely made some aggressive passes, but somehow those guys got back around him. A little swappy. Driver is one of the guys running on a controller. He has very, very, very precise control with one, but still, I don't know, when that stuff gets swappy at high speeds, you need that life-saving reflex to kick in. Got a flat tire on our screen for Twisted. We're going to fix that. Ooh, a little right rear pinch action. Gnarly little rock obstacle, but Twisted's going to give it some skinny pedal and go right up. Still on his lap 1 as he works his way through some pretty bad nuisance rocks. Nice throttle control. You hear the brup brup brups? That's how you do it. Just brup brup brup. Hell yeah. Get them hot. Let's go check on Mr. Waffles here and see what the physical on course 20 is. And Mr. Jaeger definitely making up some time here. Where is the rest of the crew? Holy hairpin. Waffles discovers a very sharp corner. We'll see if that trips up Jaeger as Waffles tries to stretch out his lead. Looks like he's getting it done. Where did Jaeger go? Back there. We watch the time. Speaking of which, physical leader on his side. He's going to do a node grab recovery. Little pinches like this can be really tough in the IFS cars, because that front suspension geometry changes so much as the suspension cycles. It can make it more difficult to balance on the ledges. But if you're a seasoned driver, know how to spot the line and shut it down before you get in too bad of a pinch. Pretty hard to beat an IFS car as we see Michael Farley on the highway. Want to make sure his car is working properly. Sometimes the audio gets broken where we can't hear the car at all. Not wasting any time taking the inside of that corner, using the dirt. It's a good exit speed. Locks up the brakes hard. Little Scandi flick. Catches the grass on the inside. Very clean, very smooth. Not leaving any time on the table here. Same thing. Perfect apex into town. Coming through the speed lane. And Michael Farley will be going out on his lap too. Meanwhile, DriverTech has gotten around Jaxon Kunkel. Ooh, big water hole, big ledge. What? Whoa. Nice driving. These guys working their way down through a very gnarly rock section, but it is indeed downhill. Driver potentially broken and off the trail, is attempting to let Jaxon pass, but he's unable to. We'll see if he goes for a Tom Ways on that right line right there. I see it, but he's not going to risk it while driver's trying to get out of the way at least. I saw him looking at it though. It's definitely there, but would have been a big risk. Not something I would have done at this point in the race. And meanwhile, he's going to get him around him anyways. Driver did have some very bad damage apparently, because he did just take a trail repair right now. So, you know, Jaeger might be the only one without a trail repair right now. Not saying he hasn't done it, but I haven't seen him do it, and I think I've pretty much seen everyone else, including Twisted Motorsports, take a trail repair by now. And that's probably a lot of why these guys are driving past the pits, is because they have already hit that button and are going to work with what they got. Jaxon, Kunkel, and DriverTech a little bit tangled up. I'm wondering if one of them got stuck on the log. So driver, fresh car, just hit that trail repair button, is now going to get past Jaxon, who seems to be struggling with some pretty bad damage, but knows the pits are not that far away, so he's going to try to save his car as driver absolutely thrashes on his new vehicle. Lap 2 has been pretty spicy so far, as you would expect. Gnarly hairpin after gnarly hairpin. Jaeger still looks like he's running the same car. We're not going to repair his car, even though it looks like he has a flat right rear. That way we can tell if he has reset later. Jaxon taking a tumble. Twisted Motorsports coming into town is going to complete lap 1. Waffles, physical lead, I believe, has just fallen into physical second place as Jaeger gets past him, but both these guys trying to back up a little bit, but unable to. This looks like a gnarly little hole up here that you're going to have to use some momentum to keep that front end down. Otherwise, it's going to try to roll up and twist the car into that little pinch. Not really a lot of good ways through there. I think going up that Our Looker's left side once you get in there would be a good line. Not necessarily a legal one, but to quote a friend, Dave Cole, he's supposed to stay in the rocks. And for us, it's the decal road, which is that textured color section in the middle. You're supposed to keep 2 tires on that at all times. If you go off, it's understandable because that does happen, but you should take the shortest distance back on course. Waffles gonna have to do a little node grab recovery in this obstacle. Let's see how far Jaeger has gotten away. Ooh, Scott Farley. Good looking wrap on that car. Sorry, Scott Farley. Michael Farley. Jaeger's still running nice and smooth. You can hear the throttle control, see the brake control. Definitely driving a damaged car at this point, but not going to hit that repair button because that's an 8-minute penalty versus whatever time he's losing by driving a hindered vehicle. Still able to keep it on course. That's the main thing. It's when you can no longer keep your vehicle on course that it might be time to start thinking about hitting that trail repair button or look for a pit. But most of the time, my personal strategy is the more damage my car gets, the harder I send it, because I know I'm gonna have to push that button eventually, and I want to get as far and as I can, as fast as I can, before I have to do that. You can tell by these speeds where you know, Jaeger is a fast guy. He has a lot of top qualifying points. He is definitely taking it extremely easy, or dragging probably a flat right rear. I am tempted to, I really want to reset his car, but I'm not going to. That way, if it does look clean later, we will know that he had unfortunately pushed that button. Oh! Jaxon finding one of those trees. These little rocks will pop your front tires off the ground, and even though they're turned, the car still goes straight. Looks like Jaxon is keeping Waffles in sight. Some sticky mud on this track. I like to see that, because we don't always take the time to really tune the mud. It's not really our thing. We're more sand and rock people. Ooh, Waffles is gonna get tangled up in another tree, potentially has a flat tire. When your tires brush across those trees, they actually kind of stick like Velcro, and it's really not the kind of bump you would expect to get off of it. So if you're someone who wheels around trees a lot and the trees are all rubbed up on your trails and you're used to bouncing a tire off of it, that's not what it's like here. Twisted Motorsports taking an alternative to the Triton Engineering style car with the legendary UFO. This is an updated version of an old mod. So the UFO has been one of the iconic RCC mods for a long time, and this one has been updated, and it has been updated with a lot of credible information from some credible places to make it as realistic as possible. However, the Truggy, this one has yet, so this is the Truggy revamp actually, and so it was revamped, but a really, really, really long time ago, and I know a lot of people would love to see this car redone similar to the UFO, and get it up to more of a modern standard. But still a very fast car. It has really good balance, really good playful suspension. That's why a lot of guys like to run it. A lot of, you know, if you know how to drive an RC car really well, you could probably do a lot of work with the Truggy. Ooh. Might have been a little desync, either that. There's Michael Farley has lost a tie rod. I don't believe he has, so we're going to go ahead and fix that because that is hard to look at. Michael Farley working it nice and clean. We'll hop in the passenger seat here. Ooh, and we do have full nav, and as you can hear, he is riding the brakes. Interesting. Oops. Wrong button. I was just going to repair his car again to see. Okay, yeah, so he is riding the brakes. That is a trick that a lot of Ultra 4 racers use, but you do have to be careful, because if you ride the brakes a lot and then you go into a high speed section where you really end up using the brakes hard, you can overcook them and realize that you don't have as much brake as you thought you did coming into that high speed corners. Good looking wrap on that car. Looks a lot like what Scott Farley ran at King of the Hammers this year, 2026. Ended up, I believe, taking the win in the 4800 class. If not the win, it was definitely a podium. And I know he pushed very hard. We saw a lot of good onboard footage, and the last bit of his section where he had some blown shocks but still toughed it out and got that car to the finish line. Jaeger doing a little pass me if you dare, buddy. But then pulls over, let's drive her by. So, does that mean that driver just took physical first again? or is Mr. Waffles checking out? I believe he was, and I think he did get back around Jaeger. Let's see who we have here and what direction they're traveling. Jaxon Kunkel over here working his way through Big Mud Hole. Where is Waffles? That's DriverTech. There's Jaeger. Hitting the highway right now. Jaeger, DriverTech exiting the highway. Where is Waffles? Waffles is physically fallen way back on course. What happened? Waffles must have sustained some pretty bad damage and decided he is not going to push that trail repair button. So right now, physical leader, Mr. DriverTech, coming off a win at Grand Junction. See if he can carry some momentum. We've seen how much momentum Mr. Chournos has since he's been on a streak and just keeping it going, but that doesn't mean they can't be beat. I remember Kyle LeDuc was on a tear back in the old days when I used to have TV that played Lucas Oil short course. That was my jam for sure. And that's actually how Rekles Racing got started, was through the short course sim world. Driver is going to work his way up through these rocks, trying not to damage his car any more than he has to, because they don't know how long this last lap is. Meanwhile, Jaeger has caught back up. Always a contender. You can see by the condition of Jaeger's car, he has not hit the repair button yet, and we know Driver has. So he doesn't have to pass Driver, he doesn't have to beat Driver, he just has to stay consistent, keep running this pace, and he'll pretty much have an advantage. This looks like it'd be a fun track in VR. It's a lot of, well, not so much this part, but a lot of it really reminds me of the trails we have around here. Twisted Motorsports diff hung on a rock in the water section, finding some grip on the rock on the side. So something to know about BeamNG is the dirt is made up of different ground models, so things that look like rock will have more grip than things that look like dirt usually. And so you can hunt around here and there, try to find a little traction, get a bite. Mr. Waffles was physical first, started front row. Has been going very fast all race, but fighting damage, unfortunately. These cars get extremely difficult to maintain a straight line with this speed once they have damage, let alone driving a track that you've never seen before. We don't have player names at the moment, but we can go back and check, so... $479 doesn't say who that is. Yeah, unfortunately BeamNG or BeamMP is not at full capacity at the moment, so we do not have our player names. And something I noticed earlier, Michael Farley is running an all-terrain tire on that. I don't know if that's the exact right word for it, but I'm pretty sure in BeamNG and with these particular tire mods, the all-terrain tires have less grip than a mud train. So the only time anybody tends to run an all-terrain tire is in something where either it's like a UTV where they don't want too much grip because they're afraid they're going to break an axle, or if they're in an environment where they need to drift. So on a technical muddy mountain trail like this, that's an interesting choice. I wonder if there's some science behind that. I don't understand. And Michael Farley is going to let Waffles go. It's always a nice thing to do. If someone catches you, you know, that's let them go. If, you know, you'll probably never see him again in my experience, but if you do, hopefully they'll return the favor. Working his way through the mud. That is a nasty little mud hill. Whoever made this track, which I should know but don't, did a wonderful job. And this is a beautiful track. I mean, look at this undercut rock. That is so hard to make look good in Beam. And that is a beautiful section right there. Someone put, I'm going to say, at least 500 hours into this map. Well, I could be wrong, but that's how long it would take me. Farley's gonna wait for driver to get back on course. Missed the turn there. So hard to read these courses at speed. So right now that looks like, ooh, big bad bounce for driver. Uses that quick stick control to flip it back on its wheels. Jaeger. This could be our physical lead right now. And these guys, oh, there's a pit right in front of Jaeger. I'm very curious if he's going to stop there. Are these guys going towards him? Yes. Jaxon Kunkel is driving towards Jaeger right now. I believe. Or is he out in front of Jaeger? Has he already completed this climb and gone around the horn? This looks like a hell of a rock, and Jaeger has not repaired his car, so if he is nursing damage, it will be a struggle. Just gonna work it up the face. There is a little glorious pit right here. We will see if he stops for refreshments as that car struggles just to make the hill, and in comes Jaxon Kunkel. We'll see if Jaxon goes for the pass right here and just shoots it on this hillside. He doesn't waste any time. Says, "Excuse me, sir." Gonna switch back, gets bounced over there, but does not find himself on the wrong side of it. Good recovery, got the rear end to rotate around and drop down before rolling over. That is definitely a scary thing that can happen. And he's gonna go full Tom Waits, shoot it up the right line. I bet you he's going to drive past these pits because his car seems to be fine. Jaeger, however, I think Grulo and its 100% working function would make very short work of this obstacle. So unfortunately, Jaeger has not pushed that repair button yet, and if he can make it to the top of this hill, he has the choice to take a 3-minute, 10-second time delay versus dragging this damage throughout the rest of the course. He is going to pull into the pit and admit defeat and take that reset. And by us not repairing his car, we now know Jaeger has 1 pit repair, which I think everybody else has a trail. Still looking really good for Jaeger. Chournos has not ran yet. He may run later, so we'll see if he can put it together. But right now, it's looking really good for one of our most consistent drivers in the series right now, Mr. Jaeger, coming through the logs. Who does this? Like, what kind of a person goes out in the forest and digs logs into the hill? I don't. Those man-made off-road parks can be pretty fun. There's a big one in Kentucky called Leatherwood that if you've never heard of it, you should check it out. Jaxon getting a little hung up going through those rocks. Jaeger has a fresh car, and then when you've been limping damage an entire race and finally get a fresh car, it takes a ton of discipline to not start charging right away, because if you do, more than likely you will again be driving a damaged car. So you can see he has good restraint, taking it easy through this rock section. He sees Jaxon right there. He wants to pass him, but he knows that that was more than likely his only repair, and these guys don't always talk and tell you if they have repairs or not, so he doesn't necessarily know that Jaxon has a trail repair, but he might. Nice tight woods trails through here. Very cool map. Like I said, this would be a great map to wheel in VR. These guys working their way back to town. Michael Farley missing a hood, but to be expected. Driver nollie varial flipping up that rock face. Not sure if that was his initial strategy or just some damage control, but it appears his car is pretty broken, and the fact that it's frozen right now, we'll see if this takes 10 seconds. He just pushed the trail repair button again. Jaeger working his way back into town in the speed zone. Jaxon Kunkel still right behind him. That was not Jaxon Kunkel behind Jaeger. Twisted Motorsports, unfortunately, upside down. It's going to do a node grab recovery to get back on track. Oh no. Your reigning champ Michael Farley has found his way into some mud, but I guess that's really the only way through there. He gets it done, stays on the throttle, works it up. Back into town. You can tell why there's mud on the road right here. Some fine details the creator of this map added. This is definitely a very well done. I believe the height map was copied from East Coast America, but this is a very, very enhanced version. Michael Farley out of town. And who is ahead of him? Mr. Waffles and Mr. Jaeger. Waffles definitely has one trail repair, but maybe two. But working his way back up physically to Jaeger, who has a pit repair, but that is probably it. Waffles gonna turn on the siren, let him know he's there, let him know, hey buddy, you're slowing me down, I could be going faster through here, as they both get stuck in the mud on this tight corner, which puts Jaeger into a tree. Unfortunately, we lost a corner on our screen, but hopefully it was oh no, Jaeger may have lost a tire on that tree. We'll leave his car damaged, that way we can tell once again if Jaeger pushes that button, because I believe he is currently the only person without a trail repair. And I always like to mention that this is server 1. Most of the time we have up to 3 and 4 servers, so the winner doesn't always necessarily come from here. All times between all servers will be compiled after the event. Such a cool trail. This is based off East Coast America map, but it definitely gives me some West Coast vibes. Oh, and I hear another car. So Waffles, Jaeger, Jaxon, and would it be DriverTech? Show you how big this environment is. Apparently, I'm struggling to keep track of who's physically first on course, but it appears to be Jaxon Kunkel. That other car that's out front there is way off in the distance, so either that is driver with a outstanding physical lead, or that is a car that has started more towards the back. Look at this nasty little pinch. You catch either one of your sidewalls on the side, it's going to pull you that direction with a little mud G out right there. That is a tough spot. Jaxon making short work of it though, not getting hung up. If his car would have been any wider, that would have not been fun. We'll see how it treats Waffles in the Truggy. Nice little bounce, no problem. Here comes Jaeger. I am going to tab over to Jaeger and fix that damage because there's no way he's going up through there. Unfortunately, now we may not know if he repairs, other than I guess we could do something mean like this and yank a body panel off his car, but yeah, he's going. That was very smooth, not wasting any time through there. Definitely has at least 4 tires. Not saying they all have air, but they're all there. Waffles moving along pretty good through the trees. Pitches it hard on the pavement. Carries a tire coming through. Checkered flag for Waffles and physical second place. Mr. Jaxon Kunkel was already here. 2 Truggies, 1 and 2 physical. Jaeger right there in the Grulo. Good Chournos Racing so far, and we know corrected time for Jaeger is going to look a little different than the other guys. So now let's go find who is left on course still. There's 3 more drivers out there. Twisted Motorsports in the speed zone, going back out on his lap too, so this will not be his finish. Beautiful highway through here. Let's pop on some name tags. Let's see where we're at. So this is Twisted Motorsports. He did start quite a bit behind the pack. We know he has at least 1 trail repair, but his physical location might be deceiving as to who is next, and we see someone coming into town right now. And your 4th finisher will be, looks like Michael Farley. And that solid axle 4800 style car, but built up full 4400. Bypass shocks, probably 40s or better. Let's see who is the next on physical to come in. I believe it would be, guess, 209 8479, aka no way. It's DriverTech. Driver who was on a tear earlier and clearly still is. Driver running those old school Goodyear MTRs. Funny story about those tires. Some of you probably know it. Some of you probably don't. Goodyear MTR was at one point the best tire for the money. You could run it on the highway. You could put it on an off-road car. It was just a good all-around tire. Unfortunately, right about the time we discovered that it was the best spring snow tire for up in the Northwest in the springtime, kind of when you go spring skiing and the snow is kind of slushy and packed, well, you can drive on top of it with the right technique and tire pressure. And if you take a 37 Goodyear MTR on a 15-inch wheel and air it down to 3 psi, you can make a Toyota pickup levitate on top of 12 feet of snow and go places you would just never, ever believe. And we didn't have cameras either, so you'll never know. People still do it, but with different tires now and a lot more money, a lot more horsepower. But that old Goodyear MTR got discontinued right about the time we discovered that. So they were a gem to find used. I still have a set of my own that I only run on snow, even though they're probably completely rotten and I haven't wheeled snow in about 10 years, but I'm saving them for the day that we get to go back to the deep snow. And the reason I'm telling you all this is because Driver runs those tires every race for some reason. He just likes them. I don't know why. I don't even think he knows about the whole thing of they really came into their potential right as they were discontinued. Twisted Motorsports still on course as well with Driver. Let's see what kind of space we have between them. Turn some name tags on. Quite a bit. This is that little rock section with the little Humpty Bumpties we were looking at earlier. Twisted Motorsports at that second one where a little hop was proven to be helpful. And there he does it. Very technical tight section. Like I was saying, if you catch your sidewall on those rocks, it'll just climb up the sides and flip you sideways. These guys have to take extra care with their gas, brake, and steering inputs to keep it off those walls. It is not as easy as it looks. These cars do not drive themselves and do not want to go straight ever. Nice and smooth. As they say, drive what you see. Oh, that's what I thought. Dang it. I just missed it. Twisted Motorsports. Back in town. 5th finisher so far. DriverTech still on course. There was some space in between them, but not a ton. So unfortunate turn of events for Driver coming off of that strong win, getting out front early, but it's going to get caught up. I believe this is the obstacle he was saying earlier was really easy that some of the other racers were concerned about, but the racers that were concerned were trying to go up it. And I don't know that it's that much easier going down, but it looks like if you get off course... Oh no, Driver. That looks like a trail repair. He must have hydrolocked his engine. Hopefully he doesn't lose this one too. Bad little pinch right here. Unfortunately, he got stuck on the deep end. Looks like Michael Farley may have left a body panel down there. A hood. That's a good souvenir if anybody can get that out of there. Driver working his way around the fringe. Misses a trail marker right there. One of the rules is you're supposed to go between any flags and trail markers. You're supposed to stay to the inside. Ooh, look at this nice slick rock section. Like we're saying, these ground models are different. Even though that's not a 3D model rock, it still has grip as if it was. Very smooth down through there. We'll see if he can keep it together without getting too excited. He just pushed that trail repair button, so you know he has a hot car that bounced right up that. And unfortunately, there's a pit, and every time you have to hit that trail repair button and then drive past a pit right after is always kind of heartbreaking. Nice and smooth, the rock bounces way up, loses the momentum, and has enough brains to know that once you lose the momentum, back off the hill. A lot of people like to sit there after they lose momentum and beat on it. You know, there's a chance you might make it, but in real life, odds are you're just going to mess up the trail for your next attempt and do some damage to your car. To where you'll see a lot of the really experienced guys, as soon as that car loses forward momentum, they've already analyzed how much they need to get to the top of that hill, and if it doesn't compute, car goes in reverse, try it again without wasting any time or tearing up the trail. Nice and smooth. That is definitely a very difficult rock section. I mean, if you're trying to get your weekend warrior crawler through there, it would take a minute. These big race cars, if it's in the right hands, can just hop, pop, bop. Very rough terrain here. I'd be going much slower. The fear is getting your front axle housing caught or drop your front bulkhead right in there, and when it brings you to a complete stop, a lot of times it'll roll you over to throw you off course. Final stretch here. DriverTech bringing it home, server 1. There's that sticky mud we saw Michael Farley really digging to get out of earlier. They're going to track it all back down to the highway. Don't worry, we have a street sweeper guy coming through later. DriverTech into the speed zone. This is not quite the finish line yet. This is where he has an option to pit. It looks like we still have one more stint before driver is going to take the checkered flag. Here we go. We'll do our best job to FPV him home here. Ooh, hard on the brakes, bouncing off the guardrail, but does not get stuck in it. Very fortunate. High-speed beach section. Let's turn up the speed. Turn down the speed. Hard on the brakes, hard on the gas. Let's go. Driver bringing it home. We're seeing a little desync on the steering. I doubt that's the case, so this way that car would be dancing everywhere. Keeps it to the inside, holds the corner. Excellent job. That is a corner that could be lost, but also looks like a blast. Makes you want to hit that in like a Subaru rally car or something. The way that corner G'd out and banked in towards the end uphill, you could definitely lay into the exit. Oh my gosh, I was just thinking we are going so fast through these trees. Good luck, buddy. Hey, DriverTech flags. Oh no, driver did lose a corner and he's taking another repair. That is going to be 8 minutes plus 10 seconds. But hey, he's going to cross the finish line with a really nice looking car. Hard brake stab, pitches it in. Full commit, full flick. You see a lot of that in server 1. These guys know how to play that card consistently. And I will tell you, I have done it before, but to do that consistently, you're going to want to carry a roll of toilet paper with you. And there's that tree that caught up Jaxon Kunkel earlier, but driver makes it around the outside of it into some of this really nice, gooey, technical trail. Ooh, there's definitely some drag in here. You can see the water has some velocity to it. You can hear by the sound he just have to work very hard for forward progress here. Out of the water, back on the dirt. We'll see if he rolls out of it a little bit, or if he's just gonna leave the toggle switch on until the end of the race. Back into the sagebrush. That's a good looking foliage. Very northwesty right here. This reminds me a lot of like Spokane area. A lot of, they call it the Okanagan. Yeah. Driver avoids a giant water hole, but is going to tumble straight into another one. Ooh, unfortunately, another trail repair for driver. At this point in the game, I think he is probably feeling a little bit of the fuck-its, but there's still some race left, and you're not the only one who has had to push that multiple times tonight. Ooh, nasty, nasty hop camber. Goes through there with a lot of speed, but is able to keep it on course. Uses that natural guardrail, and we're out of the park. So, rule of thumb would be that he needs to rejoin the course either at or where he left. There is a climb right here, but if his car isn't capable of doing it, oh, this is where I live right here. This is the kind of hills we have. Less rock, more tree roots, and you know, baseball, softball size volcanic type stuff. But this is what the hills are like. They just go straight up. Keep that momentum going. Gaps over the hole. Has enough grip. You see how that different colored dirt there? That different colored dirt has more traction. It's not going to waste any time getting back on course. You see that danger marker right there? It is for real. And I'll tell you what, this isn't like Vegas to Reno. If SlinkySam puts up a danger marker, you might want to like just get out and look. Here comes that little pinch. I thought I recognized this spot. There are driver. What are you doing? There's a couple races on this track. Sorry, not this track. This height map that we run, and one of them is Atypical's track, and it goes up through this spot, and that's why it's so familiar. This one has been decorate a little different, and just like we were talking earlier, getting schizo, I need a co-host. If you get a tire up on the side, it will climb the wall, just like that right there. That's what you saw those guys shooting straight up the middle of that. This is so hard to do. Driver's gonna get it done though. He's gonna work his way up. Not the smoothest, not the fastest, but did not have to start over. Go back on board, give the fingers a rest. Our esports broadcasting union does not cover carpal tunnel. All right, folks, here you have it. Server 1 is complete. I have no idea what we're looking at right now, but 50 flat, 12 seconds is the time to beat. 1 hour and 23 minutes for trail repairs. So DriverTech, who just finished, coming off of a very strong win at Grand Junction. I believe he, it may have been in the threshold of 10 minutes. So driver 1 Grand Junction, in times we only see Bailey Cole really, throwing down numbers like that. Coming into the next round running a 23 hour, 45 minutes, no. It happens. That was a tough track. Those guys had not seen it before. But right now, it looks like the fastest time is guess number 2953112. So let's go see who that is. You got any guesses? I'm thinking Jaeger. Is it Jaeger? No. It's not Jaeger. 112. Who is 112? Your reigning champ, Michael Farley. He must have kept his finger off that repair button all night, because that is an amazing time. No, that's 304. What is going on here? We are looking for 295-102. Congrats, Michael Farley. So far, unofficial race winner right now, server 1. This is Rekles Racing Spring Series. We won't know till all the times from the other servers are in, but so far, pretty commanding lead by Michael Farley right there. Did not hit the repair button one time. Very, very, very impressive. With all those trees out there and all those water holes, even the most experienced racers can get sucked into one of those traps. And it looks like Michael Farley did not, proving that your reigning champion is that for a reason. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Like always, official results will be posted later on the Discord. Good night.